Heyo, Splendid Snake here with another figure review. This time we have got the NECA Predator 2-pack Jungle Hunter Final Battle. This is the Predator from the very first movie, near the end of the battle when he's pretty much beat and broken and yeah. Anyway, what do we think about this figure? As I said in my Dutch video, I got a dozen NECAs in a massive haul from this one guy, and I got him off of I got them all off this Facebook group that I've joined. Awesome fella, awesome guy. So he gave me this ridiculously good deal on all these figures, which I don't know why I kind of brought them on a whim. It was never really been after him. Well, I said I've never been after him. I always wanted one, just see what they were like. Yeah, I wanted one to see what they were like, and then I ended up buying like 12 of them before I even had one in hand, so that took kind of a gamble. What do I think? They are all pretty much fundamentally the exact same figure, which I think is a slight gripe. I wish they kind of had a few more tweaks and variants. They've got variants in like their armor and maybe different boots or something, and so yeah, you know, different heads, different armor, and maybe different bits here and there, but fundamentally they are the same figure. They've got the same basic torso, the same basic like legs, and like I said, sometimes even the same feet. So there's a lot of reused parts, but in different ways. You're going to see that over my next few reviews. I'm going to try and get all of these Predators out of the way as quick as I can, to be honest, because I've got so many figures to review. But like I said, I've started a new job, and it's been forever for me to get any time to myself to do anything. In fact, I've got this weekend off and I've been looking forward to it, and now it looks like I'm busy. So I was hoping to get all these reviews done. But anyway, moving on. Sorry, rambling. Okay, so what do we think about this guy? Like I said, the sculpt on these things is absolutely phenomenal. I really think NECA has been blown out of the park with these things. Just from the textures, from the fishnets going throughout the body, through the skins, the paint apps, the detail in the armor. The whole thing is just absolutely awesome. So impressed with it. Really was blown away with all of these. They all look the dog's business. Gripes. Yeah, gripe wise is, for me, like with most figures today, is the articulation. They do have some articulation, and I'll go over that in a bit. Just, I wish they kind of had a bit better and maybe some different choices. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's about as far as I'm going to say. But these things are huge. They're massive figures. In fact, let's get the size comparison out of the way right now. He stands to the top of his head just about 8 1/4 inch, just under 8 1/4 inches. 8 1/4 inches. Now, Predators are massive in the movie, and if I bring Dutch, you know, that's a pretty good comparison. I would love to have met the guy that was wearing the suit in that movie. But yeah, massive figures. Here's Hudson from the Alien movie. I can't wait to get to review these guys as well. And then, speaking of aliens, I finally got my hands on one, so I'm going to try and squeeze this thing. In fact, let's move him back and see, because I also want to get a 6-inch in here as well. Oh, sorry, knocked the camera. Look at that. And their little Bucky cap. What the hell? I cannot wait to get to review this guy for you guys. These are awesome. And a lot of differences I've noticed. I've got a few of them, and I'm going to go over them. So, but back onto the Predator. It comes with just the one accessory. It comes with his mask, which is removed and closer to the end of the film. And I would have been loving this if it could actually clip onto his head. But unfortunately, it doesn't. There is no way whatsoever to get that on, short of cutting his face off and sticking this on. I think a head swap with one that was actually attached, an alternative head, would have been epic and would have really made this figure absolutely amazing. So, let's go over his details. Not quite sure we zoomed on the crotch there, sorry. Okay, so he's got like this Okay, for those of you who haven't seen the Predator movie, you shouldn't be watching this review but I will, slight spoiler, the green stuff on him is his blood. Yes, they have fluorescent green blood, which is very cool. And this face sculpt is freaking awesome. It's kind of got this massive brow, so his eyes are really hidden in there. You can just about see them behind the teeth. And they're really nicely sculpted, and they're really well painted. And he's got this really elongated jaw, and with the 4 clawed teeth and the mouth inside. I wonder, whoever designed these things is very twisted. The head itself has got a nice kind of sculpt to it. It's very ridgy, and the paint apps on it is amazing. And all these like hair things, I don't even know if these are hair, I'm assuming they're hair, all rubbery, individually rubbered. That sounds weird to say, but they're all individual pieces. That, I think, is amazing. I was expecting this to be like a clump of loads of them, but no, they're all individual, so that's awesome. He's got a hose here, which is also rubber. And some more of that blood on his chest and his neck. The only place the blood is on his ankle here. It's his first wound. But ultimately, absolutely phenomenal. Now, I got these second hand, and I believe he's missing his cannon, but I think due to the end of the movie, he didn't actually, he lost it, so that might be not meant to be there. Yes, I'm correct that doesn't come with the figure. Like I said, these are second hand, so you're going to have to bear with me on these reviews. In regards to the blood on his forehead, I've actually just seen something someone's just said in one of their reviews, is that the blood on his forehead was only actually there for one single shot in the whole movie. It was literally when he was trapped under the log and he coughed up a bit of blood, it landed on his forehead, then dripped off, and that was it. Now that's not my words, that's the that's the words of someone who else reviewed this that I just saw, but I thought it's something definitely worth mentioning. Okay, like I said, so moving on. So he's got his nice like fishnet suit that they all seem to wear, going throughout his upper torso and on his thighs. Again, the paint underneath these is amazing. The paint on the actual fishnets itself is also really, really well applied. That and the armour on his gauntlets is also absolutely phenomenal. This, of course, you have for his blades, which I'll go over in a bit. And this one is his like computer device. I wish this opened up, but no, it's just a solid piece. Again, another hose, which is soft rubber. There's a nice shoulder piece of armour, which is again soft rubber. So that can actually go over his torso for better articulation. So that's pretty cool. And he's got his little loincloth thing. Very cool. Some armour panels on his thighs. Really, really nice detail on these. Because these are again soft rubber. The paint on them is absolutely amazing. And then the armour on the actual calves. Again, amazing. And then his little sandals that he's wearing. And the feet are just everything on this thing just looks amazing. It only comes with the 2 hands. We have a fist hand and then we have an open hand with a little glove on by the looks of it. And then, like I said, this arm is different. It's just got the claws and they do actually extend. I think that's very cool. They didn't need to do that. So that's really, really nice that they went to that extra mile for that. Loving that. I'm terrified of breaking these though. As you can see, they've got quite a bit of move to them and they're very thin, so I'm very dubious about them. So sorry I didn't show the back armor. Really, really nice. Again, he's got the fishnets, but the skin tone's a lot darker here, a lot brighter on the front. Absolutely awesome, awesomely sculpted and painted figure. Really, really is amazing. Didn't really highlight on the skull, sorry. It's got like a spine, 2, 3, or maybe even 1 spine on this little thing here. And then this one, he's got a few skulls attached. There's some animal skulls attached in there. And there's like this other one, which I think is supposed to be around his neck, like that. Sorry, it's rotated, yeah, covered in blood. So absolutely awesome. It'd been cool if he came with like a human skull he could hold, like while looking at it. Although I did do a picture with Dutch in my Dutch video where I got him to kind of hook under the jaw like that, and I think that looks very, very cool, you know, because that's how, when he's holding Dutch up, how he looks at the skull to see with his vision. Anyway, moving on to the actual figure. Let's go with his articulation, my favourite part about figures. His head is on a, my finger's on a ball, to be honest. It goes really far back. I think that's really, really good. Go, look up that high. Trying it. And you can look down that far. And you get a bit of a pivot. Quite a lot of pivot, to be honest. That's quite impressive. The whole like dog turn its head thing. You probably rotate 360 degrees, but the hair, I don't want to force it. I think it will go. That's not it. There you go. See? But yeah, just be careful of like hoses and the hairs, because they are rubber, and you know, rubber does tend to get a bit more warm. Now, the shoulders are, they're on hinges, and they can go up depending on what's attached to them. Like that one can go up that high. This one, if you get it going over the thing, can go up that high, so a bit higher. And they can rotate around 360 degree. And then this is where one of my gripe is they've got that elbow joint, which I'm not a big fan of, and they can rotate the elbow. They can rotate at the elbow, not 360 degree. Can you? Oh god, you can do 360 degree. I didn't think you could, because there's a bit of a gap just there for that testing counter. But then they have a bend of only that, so less than 90 at its peak, and then as you go around, you're going to get even less because you have to extend it. Not a fan of them. What I'm going to maybe do, might sacrifice one of these, and I'm going to see if I can add a bicep rotation. And then also, they have no torso crunch or diaphragm joint or anything. I think it's a shame. I know it would have ruined a bit of the fishnet sculpt, but I think they could have easily gone a diaphragm joint here following the muscle texture, and it wouldn't have been terrible. But you know, that's my opinion. I'm a big sucker for articulation. Also, just want to add while I'm on the torso, is this arm here, is, you can see it's got a bit of ply into it. It's also a soft rubber, and it is a separate piece. So this whole back bit and the straps are all a separate piece, so that's very cool. They don't come off. I'm not going to try and take them off, but it's nice that it's just sent to know. He does have a waist cut. It's very stiff. You can probably go around 360 if you need to. And this is one I was a bit dubious about getting this figure, because I didn't know this, and you guys know what I'm like for hips, so I wanted to know it's like doing wipes here, sorry, and I wanted to know what type of hips they had, and just to let you know that they are T-cut. Yes, did not know that, so I'm over the moon about that. But depending what kind of plate or crutch cover they've got, it does sometimes hinder. This is quite a thick piece, and you only really get that, so you can only do a Spartan, really forcing it of that. So it's still pretty impressive. And then they can do splits. Again, I said these armor plates are soft rubber, and they can do that. And I'm worried about snapping these, so I'm trying to be delicate. And they do have upper thigh rotation, but they're very stiff again. You probably could do 360, but if you look at the sculpt of it, this is going to hinder the more you go around. Now, the weird thing I found about these neck ones while I'm on hips is the hips seem to be very individualized. Now, what I'm going to say about that is the for the Predator figures, some of them I've had no problems like going out, going forward, rotating, and fine. For example, this one, I can't rotate this one, and I do not want to force it because I'm just worried about snapping it. Others, I really had to kind of like hope to God and to get it to do that. So just be careful when you get these. I was very nervous. Anyway, moving on, he has double knee joint, which I think is very, very cool. Why couldn't you have gone, oh no, did I just break that? Oh, I think that's just come unglued. Right, I'll have to fix that in a sec. I'll just hook that over his arm. Sorry about that. Double knee joints, I'm saying, why couldn't I have had double elbow joints with a bicep rotation? Damn you. Nothing in the boot. And then all they have left is a ball joint in the ankle, so you can point from that to that. You can also get some pivot from that to that, and you can rotate full 360 degrees. Again, variant of these, sometimes they are a bit loose, so watch out for that. That's annoyed me. Yes, as I was just moving it around, this little bit here, it's just popped out from there. It's fine, it's just come unglued, it's not a big deal, I just need to put it back in. Okay, just fixed that quickly, and just wanted to show, I didn't actually go over the detail of this, so I was more focusing on how to stick it on, or if it attaches. But as you can see, this has got his mask. It's very, 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 very nicely sculpted. It's got a bit of a bow damage on the eyebrow there, on the forehead there. See, it's got the laser sights just above the eye there, and some other kind of device there. Some black eyes. But fundamentally, it's really, really nice. Nicely sculpted. Like I said, I just wish it kind of could clip on. Inside, just solid silver with some like there's no real sculpt or anything in there. It's got a nice like bronzy kind of silver on the outside, but it's nice that it's to be included. You know, you could get some good poses as just being removed or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to really say about this guy. They are they are really cool figures. I just kind of wish there was a few different choices when they made them. Like I've said, is different type of articulation. Although you can get pretty much the same sculpted figures, but whoops, with virtually no articulation. So I am happy to get these ones, and it's good that NECA is releasing them in this fashion, but they're now kind of going a bit crazy with it, and they're just releasing every little kind of one they can find. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But no, like I said, they are very good figures, and I'm happy to have them. Like I said, I do want to tweak them. In fact, I've got 2 of the City Hunters from the second movie, and that's my next one to do. And I might play with one of them. And see about that articulation I was mentioning earlier. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's my review. As per usual, thanks a lot for watching. Please leave any comments below. Please subscribe, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.